Hey everyone, I'm Omer,
I'm Trevor.
and this is
T.
Graps. Welcome to OT
Yes.
Graps, everyone. Hide your kids, hide your wife. It's Trevor.
Maybe
Um, we
not
gotta.
your kids. Your moms, maybe.
Oh no, I definitely hide everybody. Vince McMahon is on the loose. Um,
Jesus.
we got a lot to get to today, Trevor. Obviously WrestleMania happened. We'll talk a little bit about that. We're also going to be talking about the big news of hey, WWE sold. Okay, sorry. In one weekend, let me just recap this. In a matter of 48 hours, WWE sold and somehow in all of this, Vince McMahon ended up being above Dana White in this merger with UFC. So WWE sold. They merged with UFC. Vince McMahon is back in power. Vince McMahon is back in creative control. And on top of it all, Cody Rhodes is not the WWE World Heavyweight Champion.
Yes. The only thing that is
Lot
right this
lot to get to, Trevor. But first, we do have some unfortunate business to attend to.
yeah,
It was
sad news.
revealed. It was revealed over the weekend that Bushwhacker Butch passed away at the age of 78. Many of you will remember him as one half of the very notorious 1990s tag team, well, 1980s, 1990s tag team, the Bushwhackers. One of the more like hearty. I don't even know how to describe a very weird bunch, but a very nice and
Very,
just
very
just
fun
great
bunch,
gimmick.
I would say. Very, very fun
Yeah.
bunch.
I
Um,
I know you have a lot more to get to, but he also wrestled individually in
he did.
New Zealand. They were the sheep herders for like 10 years. And like guys, if
Mhm.
you have not seen some of the stuff that they used to do in NWA and Mid Atlantic, like go check out some of that stuff. They were a
They were
vicious
fun. They were
team.
fun.
Um but Trevor, I'm gonna give the floor to you on this one because you have way more firsthand knowledge of Butch and the
Bushwhackers.
Bushwhackers in general. So
Oh man, like one thing I always say about being born in the 80s and coming up around the time of wrestling I came up, you always get to see some interesting teams. Like for instance, I won't say it was good, but Coco Beware, the Honky Tonk Man, guys like that. But like gimmicks stood out, and there wasn't a gimmick more like prominent and noticeable than the Bushwhackers. They were these podunk guys from Australia. They had a
New
noticeable.
Zealand, they were
Was it New
from New
Zealand? It was
Zealand,
New Zealand. Okay.
sir,
I
sir.
always,
How
I
did
always thought
how
it was
did you?
Australia.
Don't you? Are next thing you'll say like, oh goddamn, New Zealand, Australia, same thing. There's two countries in
Iceland.
the world, America and not America. Okay.
Not America. Um, but yeah, but dude, they came out these hunting pants, like no shirt on. They threw their arms over their head. It was amazing. It was the funniest, most fun attacks I've seen a tag team have when I was younger. Anyway, they bit you, they licked you, as if you
They
were their
bit you, they
friend.
licked you.
If you were their friends, they licked you. Like there was a scene there with what's his name? I forget who it was. It was a ball. I can't think of his name right now. Another wrestler. They actually licked his head. It was the funniest thing. He was all into it, like just selling it. um, I will also. I don't know if you guys watched the Hall of Fame, but I would definitely remember their Hall of Fame speech. That was one of the best Hall of Fame speeches that I've heard in a while. I just actually rewatched it again today. It pulled on the heartstrings a little bit. They were they were a hell of a bunch. He will be missed. Actually, I have a lot of fond memories. One in particular, um, my mom at one time was a huge Hulk Hogan fan, unfortunately, and a bigger big boss man fan. But so we're watching wrestling. She very seldom watched wrestling with me. She watched wrestling and the Bushwhackers came on. My grandfather's watching. He goes, "I love those crazy guys." And my mom went out missing the beat. why are they biting people? And actually, this here, the start when they would come out, like they use, it's not exactly that, but like some people start it in the go-go scenes when people dance or whatever, they throw their arms up like that. It's kind of cool actually. um but yeah, anyway, Bushwhacker Butch, you will be missed. To your family, condolences. And to Luke, they were friends for 50 years. Like, to those guys, my heart goes out to you. If you guys go over on, I think, Twitter and Facebook, just give them some love and show them some condolences and prayers at this tough time with their families.
Absolutely. Prayers out to them. I remember like you mentioned that Hall of Fame speech. It is actually one of my favorite Hall of Fame speeches too. It's like one of the best I
Yeah,
think overall because it was one where it was like completely like lighthearted and
yeah,
you could just tell how genuine it was. Like
so
and
goofy, man. They was so
it's one
goofy.
it's one of those things where like I know a lot of fans and apparently the wrestlers all really like the new Hall of Fame format and because it
Mm,
happens like on SmackDown and whatnot and all that stuff.
right,
I really miss the old Hall of Fame format because it really like it shined a light onto the people who were actually being inducted and it
right,
spotlighted
right.
them I think in a way like a lot of these a lot of these people like this is like gonna be their biggest moment and like it's their moment in the sun and I don't think that the current format really fosters that. I understand that it's like not like the coolest thing or it's not like the best thing for wrestlers especially who like have big matches coming up at WrestleMania to
Hmm.
be doing that the night before WrestleMania. I totally get that. That's valid. But part of me does miss like the old format just because it just kind of it made it feel more important than it is now.
Yeah, the
But
whole,
yeah,
like, the way they set it up, like a award show pretty much, and people come out and talk like it was on the stage. It wasn't so informal. It wasn't in the ring now. Like I liked it. I liked it better then. Like, even um Shawn Michaels' speech was decent, and I think the induction for him was better. I think Triple H did a pretty good job of his induction, but the Bushwhackers is probably my favorite of, like, will all probably always be my favorite.
funniest thing about the Hall of Fame speech though, I mean outside of the joke where Luke said like his kids like Butch's kids look like me.
Yeah,
The funniest thing is they were able to get like Bret Hart, who's like the most serious person in
they
the
sure were.
world, like most serious wrestler in the world, to do the bushwhacker like walk. I was just like, that's peak. I mean, it is. I'm gonna go back and watch that now. Like that is
Yeah,
genuinely one of the
I already
coolest
watched it.
speeches ever. Like, go
One
check
of
it
the
out.
one of the coolest things about that, for my buddy's 30th birthday, we funny thing is his birthday was right before his wedding. It was like 2 days before his wedding. So that whole weekend for his wedding, we I was in a wedding party, and like, him being a huge wrestling fan, he had on a wrestling button-up shirt for his wedding shirt or whatever, and we came out to the Bushwhackers song,
Did you
and so we
guys
were
do
all
the
doing this. It was actually really really cool. It was funny. Everyone laughed. We had a good time. It was fun, but fond memories.
Yep, absolutely. Anyway, rest in peace, Butch. Our thoughts and prayers obviously go out to his family, his friends, and everyone affected by his passing. A legend, make no bones about it. Like, I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but like the Bushwhackers were absolute legends. Like
Yeah.
they're some of the most iconic and entertaining like acts of their era. Um,
Where
and again, yeah, please, if you have Peacock, I know it's difficult to find because everything on that stupid app is
it's
very difficult to
so
find.
confusing.
But try to find the Hall of Fame and watch that speech. I think that was
Was
2015.
it 15th? Yeah, 15 or
I think
14 in that area.
it wasn't 14. I know that for sure. But Bushwhackers Hall of Fame. Google, do your
You'll
own
find it.
research. Come on, guys. Come on.
You're
It's not like we're a wrestling podcast and we're supposed to be having these answers. Like, come on now.
No, we're
Come
not
on.
that.
Forget about it. Um,
We're
one thing
amateurs.
we can't forget about, Trevor. One thing we can't forget about is everything that's transpired in the past 48 hours. Okay, this is a genuine question because we didn't really talk about this too much beforehand. What are we starting with? Because like,
That's
there's
a
so
good
much.
question.
What do you want to start with? What do you want to talk about?
I think everything is going to take a little bit of time. Hmm,
Let's just.
let's just start wherever, I guess. um, let's see what are we talking about here today? This you want to start with the with Vince McMahon playing composer, I mean the director in the back.
Yeah, we could talk about that. I think it might make more sense now that I think about it to maybe talk about the sale first because
Yeah,
that's kind of
let's do
like
that first.
the big domino that fell. All right. So quick rundown of what happened on the like the evening of night 2 of WrestleMania. Reports started swirling that Endeavor, the owner of UFC, the parent company of UFC, was going to buy WWE. The next morning, the news broke that Endeavor and Ari Emanuel, who is the CEO of the company, bought 51%, is a 51% stake in WWE, which is a majority stake. So he's like the final boss now. And that essentially part of this deal is that UFC and WWE would merge into one company. It would be one publicly traded entity. It would be traded under the name TKO, which is hilarious. And
Perfect.
the structure, actually, I might be able to pull up the actual structure in a second, but it was also revealed that the structure of the company of this new company was going to be as followed. Actually, here we go. Boom, I got it because I'm a pro at this. So as you can see right there, Ari Emanuel is CEO of Endeavor and New Co, which is like a stand-in name for whatever this new company's name is going to be. This
Okay.
joint merger, whatever company is going to be under UFC and WWE. So he's the CEO. Vince McMahon comes in as executive chairman of this UFC WWE merger company. There are a few other names on there, but here are the two other names that are important. Dana White is going to stay on as president of the UFC, so he's going to be the UFC guy. Nick Khan is going to be the WWE president, but Vince McMahon is going to be above both of them in the pecking order. And the only person that outranks Vince McMahon is the Endeavor CEO. And I mean, I assume the board of Endeavor as well. So it is monumental in wrestling history, obviously, for the biggest wrestling
Yeah,
company in the
it
world to
is.
be sold. Trevor, what were your initial thoughts about this news? About the merger when you heard about that and just the craziness that's transpired over the past 2 days.
You know, I like this one a lot better than the idea of Saudi Arabia. I like
Saudi
this.
Mania! Baby, baby, going to Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, Michael.
I like this one a
Cross
lot
and fun, Habibi.
better. but but yeah,
JBL, go away.
it's one of those things that I'm wondering exactly how it's going to work, how it's going to break down. I don't think it necessarily is a bad thing. Well, it doesn't appear to be a bad thing yet, but I'm just wondering how it's going to break down, how it's going to be done. Like, are they still going to have their deal with Peacock? Are they going to go back to pay-per-views now? What exactly is going to transpire, and how is the UFC going to fall in? Like, I'm pretty sure you're going to see more UFC fighters switch to wrestling. I mean, probably, maybe. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. But what I'm really not trying to see is Vince McMahon in any type of creative capacity. Oh, I really don't want to see that at all for any company. Not UFC, not nothing. No, nothing. But it is going to be interesting further down the line to see what's going on. I mean, if it works, I'm happy about it. I'm right now. I'm skeptical. I'm still skeptical.
I am less skeptical about how much business sense this makes, because it makes a lot of business sense,
Well, it makes a
right?
lot of business sense. Absolutely.
Because like now WWE, UFC can kind of do something that both companies have been weirdly trying to do for the past like 2 decades, which is kind of like get that crossover or try to get that
Right.
crossover market or whatever one exists between combat sports and professional wrestling. So now that'll be much easier to do because now you will have like genuine like cross promotion on each other's shows. You
Right.
will have, like you will have like people like people say like, make a bad faith argument like, you don't have to worry about WWE people showing up in UFC and vice versa. I'm like, no, that's totally what's gonna happen in that, and I don't mean, like, you're not gonna have, like, Bobby Lashley, becoming, like, a full-time UFC fighter or something like that. That's not
No.
gonna happen. Like, when I say, like, you're gonna see stars cross over, like, it's very viable that you could have someone like, Jorge Masvidal or a
Right.
Conor McGregor come in and do a spot in WWE to help promote a pay-per-view, or maybe even do a match, right? Or vice versa, I think you will 100% have WWE stars walk fighters to the ring in UFC and be at ringside, and maybe like you'll have like people who have actual MMA experience, a la Brock
Right.
Lesnar, do a fight or something like that. Um,
And this would
people
probably
are
work better for Brock since his contract situation is up in the air anyway. You know what I mean? Like his contract situation with UFC and WWE is completely up in the air. Even though I think he just signed a big one with WWE not too long ago, right?
he he did, but like at the same time, he's Brock Lesnar. He'll just do what he wants.
Which he always has.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun stuff. Not really. I mean, like overall, I mean, the valuation that WWE got in this deal was insane. Like I mean, they were value like so ever valued them at like $9.3 billion, which doesn't mean that they sold for $9.3 billion because they only sold 51% of the company. So
Right.
like all of the company is worth $9.3 billion because you sell based on the valuation. Um, nuts to think about that this happened. All this happened like in the shadow
Of
of
Click Two.
of of WrestleMania, of one of the biggest WrestleManias we've ever seen. My other question for you, Trevor, is like, okay, and this is I guess a bit more like going into WrestleMania because to me this WrestleMania kind of felt like it felt different in that how like the WWE's always been saying like, oh, WrestleMania is the biggest live event in sports and it's a
Right.
pop culture phenomenon. It has felt like that before, but I don't think there's ever been a WrestleMania that's felt more like pop culture-y and like that, like the just a pure spectacle, like it was full display. Like think about what we had. You had KSI, you had in a prime bottle, which to me,
Ugh.
I showed you the picture of
Yeah, I
KSI
saw it. I saw it. I
on the
was like, wait.
stretcher.
I was like, is that KSI?
My man was laid out on the stretcher. It was
That was
just like,
hilarious.
oh. And Logan Paul was just like, I this is my business partner, you guys.
it
But
was
but
it was a lot of pop culture there, like you said. It was pretty prominent in this one.
for sure, and I think there's gonna be a lot more of that, moving forward as well. Like, especially with this deal with Endeavor, I expect this to be more the norm, and I actually like the direction they're going with the way they're kind of, like, booking these pay-per-views.
Mm.
Like, they're kind of, like, having places bid on them and all that stuff. I think that's a good thing for both the
And actually, it's
business.
pretty cool. I like that idea. I never really thought of that before. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's like the Super Bowl, but, like,
Yeah,
every
absolutely.
month for WWE.
Mhm.
Mm,
Absolutely. It's, I mean, we'll talk about the WrestleMania later because I have a few quid pro quos.
well, be careful now, sir. You don't Vince McMahon yourself. Um, sir. Yeah, jokes, jokes, jokes. Um.
Jokes.
Anyway, the other thing we need to get to involving Vince McMahon. So, in the shadow of this sale of WWE, we had a lot of funny reports, Trevor, coming out of Monday Night Raw last night. Did you? First of all, let me ask you: did you watch Raw last night?
I did. I did watch Raw last night.
What did you think of Raw last night?
It's the Raw after WrestleMania. It's the biggest Raw. It sucked. It was awful. It so there were some interesting parts, but all in all, it was meh. It was for a Raw after a major pay per view. It was a letdown. And don't even get me started in the whole Brock Lesnar Cody Rhodes thing, which makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. But that alone was just like, why am I watching this? And then the fact that Roman Reigns is treating the Usos like 5-year-old stepchildren is it's funny but
See,
stupid at the same
that
time.
was to me that was the best part of the entire show
It was
because
hilarious. I cried laughing. I thought it was funny.
you would expect Roman after the Usos lost to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens to kind of be like, I want to distance myself from these losers. I'm the tribal chief. But I will say Paul Heyman was like the funniest part of Monday Night Raw. Like
Oh my
his
god.
reaction when Brock Lesnar came down, and then Roman's yelling at him, being like, "So why did you agree to this? I was supposed to know Brock would come out." It's just amazing. Like he is 25 years like doing this, nearly 30 years doing this, and this dude is like not. He's not slowing down. He's just
I don't know. That's one of the few things I like about Paul Heyman. And you know what? Another thing that the sidetracking, just learning more about Paul. He's actually a pretty good guy, from what I hear. He's big on his family, big family man. Loves his kids. It seems like a pretty decent guy.
It's a very this is a very like nice mafia thing you just went into right there. I like I like Paulie. He's a family man. He spends a lot of time with the kids. It goes on vacation, buys the wife. I mean, go here you go, Paulie. Go buy the wife something nice.
What did
Like,
I say to you over the weekend? We mentioned something about mafia or something. It was a picture or
um,
something.
I can look it up real quick. I mean, oh, I said
Um,
I showed you this right? Um, is this thing that
yeah.
says like DNA testing was not invented till
I saw that
1986,
too.
and then
Yeah,
it's like people in 1985, like making
yeah,
make on a ladder match.
I did see that. Yeah, because we went back and
Yeah,
forth all weekend. So
it was. Yeah, because here's what happened. I think this was it. I sent you the picture of Vince,
with the
with a
mustache,
mustache,
yes, yes,
and I
yes.
was like Vincenzo McManaloni or something. McManalano. That was it.
That was him and that mustache is comical.
No, no, here's what you said. So I sent you the Vincenzo McManalano, and then you replied saying this on the day of his son-in-law's WrestleMania.
I did say, yeah, that made me happy.
But speaking of this, on the day after his son-in-law's WrestleMania. Actually, before we do that, let me get to some of these chats real quick. Cece's in the chat
Okay,
says, "Yo," she's also very upset that Bad Bunny was sent through a table.
yeah.
He's a worker. He's fine.
I love Bad Bunny in wrestling, honestly, but yeah.
This is an interesting thing. Jermaine in the chat says Bailey to AEW. I don't think that is going to happen unless her contract is up, which I don't believe it is yet.
She's been very cryptic late on her Twitter lately, though.
It's wrestling, bro.
I mean, yeah, I figured I just chalked it up to whatever, but like she has been kind of cryptic.
Yeah. Jermaine says Brian Cage is leaving AEW. Is that news? Because I was under the assumption that he had re-signed with AEW because he
Yeah,
retained
that's
the
what I
six
heard.
man titles.
Yeah,
You would think
because
that
he's
if he
still
was
with
gonna
RH
go,
too.
yeah, you would think if he was gonna go, they would have lost the belts. But maybe I'm wrong. Brad said, "Is Asuka leaving? Is Asuka leaving? Why is everyone's like leaving? No, Asuka's not leaving. She also
No,
put out a cryptic tweet, but that was more like, oh, these people are gonna treat me bad, but watch what I do next, kind of like in WWE. Like she's like, I'm gonna cause chaos in the women's division. That's what she said,
oh, of course,
and I think she was working too. Jermaine also says, hope she goes back to New Japan. Asuka in New Japan right now would be insane.
absolutely insane. Absolutely,
Um,
it'd be a lot of fun to
we got,
watch. I'll tell you that much, though.
we got Jermaine in chat saying it was horrible, but it was good to see Riddle. Did you see Riddle when he came out?
No, I didn't see Riddle actually.
Yeah, man, my man was so Riddle came out and wearing like a speedo and no. Here's the thing, you know how he doesn't wear shoes?
Yeah,
So he was wearing like a very okay, it wasn't like a full on speedo, but it was a very very small. It was very very small tights, like very very
they
small tights.
they're the trunk tights.
So very small trunks, no shoes, no knee pads, no arm pads, shaved. And when a wrestler like when you know that when a wrestler like
Yeah,
doesn't wear knee pads and arm pads and they wear like the tights, you're like, ugh, looks extra
yeah,
naked,
yeah.
like
Like, what are you doing?
more naked than if he was actually naked. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Put some clothes on, slut.
Mm, Jesus, sir, I'm sir.
I see.
Anyway, but yeah, okay. Overall, Raw was a terrible show, and we now know why, Trevor. Because according to PW Insider, Dave Meltzer, Sean Ross Sapp, FightfulSelect.com, and every other wrestling source out there, Vince McMahon had a very large part in last night's show.
Yep.
As the reports go, Vince McMahon was on the headset, and as the night progressed, he began to take more and more control over the show. So much so, Trevor, that there were multiple segments that were rewritten as they were happening. There's video evidence of two instances. One where the production team in the arena
And,
were actually seen by fans given two different scripts or two different like sheets uh as the show began, and they were already given one before the show began. So they were given three different things as far as what the layout of the next segments are going to be. On top of that, you could visibly see Seth Rollins in one of the weirdest segments that I've ever seen on
it
WWE
was so
TV.
weird. So weird.
He just came out, they went to commercial, they came back, and he's just like, I'm Seth Rollins. Sing my song. And they just sung the song. It was like he killed 10 minutes. That was it. He
Yeah.
killed it. He didn't
And
do
then he
anything.
even went over to the production team and asked what was going on at one
That was
point.
well, no, that was it. During commercial, I'm getting
Yeah.
to that, son. During commercial, roll tide. During commercial, Rollins could be seen getting instructions on a segment change, allegedly, at ringside, and he did not look visibly happy about that situation either. Like you could see a little bit of distress on his face. So it was a weird night, a lot of rewrites. This felt if you watched it, it felt like a Vince McMahon show. It
It
watched like
felt
a
like
Vince
old Raw.
McMahon show. By the time the end came around, I was literally telling my brother and my dad and I were watching Raw, and I was literally telling them like I know exactly what's gonna happen because like I was like as the show progressed, I was like Brock Angle. I was like okay. First, I was like, oh, Brock's gonna wrestle on Raw. This is cool. And then I was like, this is a Vince McMahon show. Brock is not wrestling on Raw. Like
Nope.
he's gonna turn on Cody, like either right as the bell rings or before, and lo and behold, he be turned on Cody before the bell rung, and he just beat him down
Brock,
with
Brock don't
with
wrestle on that
15
TV.
minutes left in the show. Trevor, what do you think though, Trevor?
It was
It,
absolutely ridiculous.
what do you think though, Vince McMahon back in charge of creative apparently? Because the other reports indicate that Dave Meltzer at least indicated that he is pushing Triple H out, and Vince McMahon now has final say over creative.
Well, here's my thoughts. If that happens, AEW is back in the saddle, in the saddle, because yeah, like dude, like that show felt like a jumbled, rushed mess. It was not. It was not organized. It was not. It was. You could tell something was up because every wrestler looked like just like the fact that Austin Theory beat Rey Mysterio like that, like like,
You
and
could
then like
literally hear the paint dry, Trevor.
right, you're like, I'm gonna turn back later. So, like it was that bad. It was one of those nights where everything that could possibly go wrong did go wrong. The and the whole thing with Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make feasible sense. They've had no interactions. There's no reason for him to come out there and and do that to him or attack him or whatever because he can't get a title shot. He gave it up. He can't get a title shot. So like it's just what at one of these. It's just one of those things where you're like, yo, this doesn't make sense. Why is it being pushed on me to watch? Like it was bad. It was probably the worst Raw I've seen in a long time actually.
It was a dog shit Raw, for
It was a
sure.
dumpster fire from beginning to end. Like it was, there weren't really any great parts. I mean, there were little parts here and there that were pretty cool. Like you said, like the whole thing with the Usos was funny. Um, of course, you know the wise man was pretty funny talking, but other than that, it was even
So
even Cody's promo was kind of stale.
so the first so the first part of that whole thing, right? Like the first part was pretty good. Like the first part of the show. My
Right,
issue is the through the first hour of the show was actually commercial free. Like that was a thing that they did. It was
right.
commercial free. I want you to guess, Trevor, in that 1 hour of commercial free time, how much wrestling was there? How much in-ring action was there?
None.
A little more than none.
A little bit, but not much.
1 minute is the answer.
Was there was just
1 minute.
one minute? I knew it wasn't a lot
It
because
was
it
1 minute.
was terrible. Because like you would think, since it's commercial free, you get extra wrestling. We did not. We did not get extra entertainment. The show was not entertaining. It was even the commentators, which the commentators on Raw aren't great anyway, but even the commentators were kind of terrible.
And what's his name? Lucky Charms there has zero. I mean, that's cut that. What's his name? Patrick, David
See you next
Patrick.
week, hopefully.
Hulk Hogan, they're coming for you, man. Booker T. Biggest thing, completely derailing this. Booker T. I still can't, I watched that the other day. And I still can't believe that happened. Like,
What?
bro,
Oh, yeah.
you know you're live,
We're coming for you. What?
sir.
The
My
funniest
favorite
thing to
thing
me
is
was the fact that Stevie Ray just looked at him like, "It's okay, it's
no,
okay."
no. Well, the two funniest things about that were one, Mean Gene,
Oh
absolute
yeah.
pro that he is. Without missing a beat, goes, "All right," and Stevie Ray immediately he's like, "All right, well, we are moving past this now." Like, and Booker, you could just see, "We coming for you," and he just goes,
He just
like
holds his head down.
like, "Damn, I just said that, damn."
I'm probably tired.
Like it is that was amazing. Well, now they replaced it on the network or on Peacock. You know what it is now?
What, sucker?
Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, sucker.
I think that's what he was trying to say anyway.
It's definitely what like his character was going for, but Booker Hoffman was not playing. He was not
Nah.
playing. He said, "Hulk Hogan, we coming for you, bro." As Hulk Hogan was like, "We coming for you, Jack."
Oh, brother.
Oh, brother. Hulk Hogan, you're no brother. You're no brother of mine, sir. Um.
Goodness.
Oh man. Oh, did you see Cody's promo
I
where
did.
he sung Tupac? Or he recited, I should say, Tupac.
Tupac, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I did.
the most wooden, like, things like, "Out on jail, fresh out of bail, California dreaming. As I step on the
Great.
scene, I'm hearing, 'Hey now,
It's
hey now.'"
it's like it was like Burt Bacharach decided to sing rap music. It was just it was painful to watch.
Wow. That is a shout, Sir Burt Bacharach. RIP, a legend, but oh my god. Oh, that was a good shout, sir.
Thank you.
But, like,
I'm here
you
all
know what
night.
would've been funnier? You know what would've been funnier if he did, like, if he, like, did it like Tupac, and he goes like, "Fresh out of jail, out on bail, fresh out of jail, California's dreaming."
Yeah, that would have been
Or
hilarious.
California
That
dreaming,
would
and
have been funny as hell.
it's like that old Dave Chappelle song, it's like, "And if you hit this table one more time, then the record might skip. I told you,
It might
stop
skip.
hitting the
I told
table.
you.
Wrote the song a long time ago."
Yeah, I remember that. I remember
I'm
that
not
actually.
alive. I'm not alive.
Uh,
That blew me.
Chappelle.
Anyway, oh wait, this might be a good time to talk to you about this. Guess who's coming to DC in June?
Cool.
AEW Dynamite is gonna be live from the Capitol One Arena
Oh,
in
they're coming back.
Washington DC, the United Nations capital, where the first ever Dynamite was, and we're gonna have a plethora of matches including MJF, John Moxley, and many more of your favorite AEW superstars.
I'm
Buy
going to
tickets
the.
April 14th, 2023, live now. Ah!
Is it? It's June. You said it's June 14th.
I think it's like June. It's like June. I think tickets go on sale April 14th, so I might be getting my wires crossed. But
Because New Japan is coming this month actually.
New Japan's coming this month. AEW's coming to Baltimore on May 3rd.
Ooh,
Actually taking my dad to that one, and it's gonna be like
that's
his
cool.
first like AEW show, so I'm excited for that too. Also, guess who went bankrupt? Eh, guess why he
You?
went bankrupt? Guess why he went bankrupt?
Ooh,
He's
because of
going
money.
to AEW Double or Nothing.
He said I went bankrupt.
I'm such a mark. I'm willing to admit I'm such a mark. Um,
Funny.
anyway, no,
That's
okay,
funny.
so it is June 14th. So,
Okay,
and tickets do go until April 14th. So 2 months apart. Um, we we should talk about that.
we will. We'll definitely talk about that.
Because this is a lot easier for both you and me to get to because it's like
Yeah,
right
it's like right there.
out on bail for shut of jail. Let me stop. Let me not
Oh,
alive.
oh,
Uh
another random thing before we get back into the main topics.
Yeah. Let me stop. I'm not
Did
gonna
you
do
see?
I'm about to do this entire show like 2
Did you see who joined the ROH commentating staff for the last pay per view?
Sir, do you mean old Wolfie Desmond
My
Wolf,
man,
aka I am
Mr.
Nigel
Nigel
McGuinness.
McGuinness.
I
I
am
lo-
Nigel
he
McGuinness.
was one of my favorite wrestlers in ROH. I love Nigel McGuinness.
If that
Such a
dude
mark.
never if he never got injured, like he would have been a world champion in WWE.
He definitely would have. Oh, he definitely would have. Yeah, it's a shame the injury really took him out. Wasn't he commentating for NXT for a while too?
Yeah, he was doing NXT UK.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I thought.
And then
Yeah,
NXT UK closed down. So Tony Khan was like, would Nigel McGuinness, a free agent? I'm here.
come
It
back.
blew my mind, absolutely blew my mind that they took and I like Wade Barrett, but blew my mind that like their first choice was Wade Barrett over Nigel McGuinness being the SmackDown commentator.
Yeah, that kind of blew my mind. Again, I like Wade Barrett, but really over Nigel, come on.
Wade Barrett, Mr. Barrett Barosh. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. You people will never amount to anything in your life. Ha ha ha. Oh, wank. Wah wah wah. Wah wah wah.
He couldn't stay healthy either. Though.
My
He was
dude just
always
kept he kept breaking the same arm over and over again.
over and over again.
Although I will say this for his the dude like won the Intercontinental title like 5 or 6 times.
He did. He had it for a while. Yeah, he had
Oh,
it a
we got
multiple
oh,
times.
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I was just piggybacking off what you said.
We got Jermaine in the chat saying, "Hey, if you're going, I'm going. Come through. Come
Come
through. Say
through.
hi.
You know,
Say
we'll be there.
hi. I will. You coming too?
Are you going to Baltimore or
Vegas?
right? You're going to Vegas? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
for
right.
Double or Nothing.
You did just say you bought double level tickets. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Actually,
wait. Was he talking about Vegas or Baltimore?
that's what I'm trying to say. Baltimore or in which one? Because we talked about like 3 shows.
Light the fuse. Bring the boom. Dynamite. We got Jermaine in the
Where are your
channel
tickets in
saying,
Vegas?
"What?
Where are your tickets at double or nothing?
It's like section. What is it? It's
We'll
like
talk about
section
stuff.
14 or something like that. I don't know. It's like hard cam side.
Okay, we'll
Or
talk later. We'll talk.
we'll talk later. We got Jermaine in the chat saying, "My question is, did Vince or Triple H make the decision to make Cody Rhodes lose?" That's a Triple H decision. That decision was a
Yeah,
Triple H
it makes
decision.
honestly. I think if Vince did it, Vince Cody would have won. Honestly, I think if Vince did it, or he may not even been in the thing at all. But he I thought it was a good decision. I mean, someone finally listened to us. Finally, we've we've been preaching that all damn week for the past couple weeks.
See, Tony Khan stopped listening to me, so now I'm glad that Hunter at least was like, we got to his senses. But now Vince is in charge, so Vince is gonna be logic. It's the new women's champion. Look at it.
It makes more sense this way. It makes perfect sense.
And Corey's gonna be like, that's my wife.
When you do Vince, it looks like it hurts. I swear it does.
It does. I feel like I'm gonna like pop a blood vessel. I'm kind of lightheaded. Um, Clone
Mm-mm.
Force 99 in the chat says before Raw, Vince legit ripped up the script on what was going to happen on the show, and that's exactly what Vince would do a lot. There needs to be a massive walkout in the locker room. Everyone needs to. I don't think like there's not going to be a strike. There's
No,
not going to be a massive walkout. People are going to be upset, and I think you're going to have like a handful full of talent when their contract is up. Like they're going to leave maybe, but there's not gonna be a massive walkout. I just that's just
I
they've
mean
tried as many times, like back in the day, Jesse the Body Ventura literally tried to form a union, and Vince Union busted the shit out of that, and we are where we are right now.
sure did. I mean, even when Vince was like, when everything was happening, the legal battles, people in the backstage were not happy, but they still didn't really couldn't do anything about it. You know, Vince is still back there lurking about.
Uh, it's my company. Uh, just grumble, grumble, grumble,
Oh,
grumble.
and shout out to Shane O'Mac. Hopefully, he gets better soon after he tore his quad. Apparently, um,
How many? Who in that family has not torn their quad in the ring? Triple H, Vince tore both. You got Shane was like Linda. Like it didn't.
the way he tore his quad. That it was the way he did it. Like he
This
took that
man had
large.
jumped. This man had jumped off a Hell in a Cell twice. He's jumped off the stage. He's done all this crazy shit. And a leapfrog tore his quad. That's a damn
I was
shame.
sad for him. I was
I
like,
would. I would.
yo,
The
bro.
Oh, speaking of injuries, big shout out to Dante Martin. Hopefully he's
Yeah,
getting better.
yeah,
That was a scary injury for a
it
guy
was. It
who
was
you hate to see get it. I mean, you hate to see anyone get injured, but like Dante Martin, especially like shout out
especially a
to
guy
him.
that's like his career is stepping up so much. Like, do you know if they were actually supposed? You read something?
No, you said his career standing up. Stop.
Oh,
Don't say that. Don't do my man like that. Don't do my man like that.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's a
I
damn
didn't mean.
shame. It's like, I blame myself too. I could have just let that go, but
You could have let it go, but you know what? You're at
I'm a
fault too.
terrible person, dude. I'm a terrible person. I don't know what to say.
You're
Say
not.
his career, someone whose career is standing up. It's not. So sorry. I'm so sorry, Dante Martin. We love you. We actually love
If you're
you.
not part
Okay,
of the solution, over, you're part of the problem.
we're going to hell. Um, your
uh,
Charles in the chat says, "Hello, everybody. AEW Dynamite this Wednesday night will be the real Raw after Mania. Oh, it's gonna be the be in the most magical place in the world, Long Island, New York.
in New York. Yep.
So it's gonna be an
Are you
interesting time."
celebrating NJF Day?
Yes, MJF Day. Oh yeah, happy early MJF Day. Or
Same to you,
happy
sir. Same to
happy Maxwell Jacob Free
you. And
Eve.
Freeman.
I don't know. I was going for
Free. Oh yeah.
happy Maxwell Jacob Free. Um,
Oh
we
man.
got Duran saying, "My question is, how many times did WWE recaptured lightning in a bottle?" I mean, they're gonna do it
Handfuls
again.
now.
Gonna do it again. Like WrestleMania is always WWE has rarely put on like bad pay-per-views. Like honestly, like their big shows are bare minimum fun to watch. Like they're not always great, even under Vince McMahon. Like they were always like fun to watch mostly
Right.
when they didn't have like deflating endings like the Fiend or like Extreme Rules 2021 with Finn Balor. The rope
Yeah.
just broke. I don't know what
It's
happened. There's
broke.
never an explanation for that.
It's yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Ye Charles in the chat says Cody shouldn't go to WWE. They screw him big times. Fewer people will be now in his story. I
They did
get what
not
you're saying.
screw Code.
No, but they
Okay,
didn't. They didn't screw him at all.
here's the thing, and I said this in my post show.
Mm.
Cody, okay, so going into the event, I was all in on like, pardon the pun, I was all in for Cody losing and then it building up more like momentum for him and him having to
Right.
go through adversity. However, once I heard the reaction he got and like the atmosphere and everything, I ain't gonna lie to you, Trevor. At that moment, I was like, call an audible. They're calling audible. It's like, no,
I,
I'm sorry.
I said the same thing. I said the exact same thing. I was like, oh, he's gonna win it. He's gonna win it.
He
They
should
called
win.
it audible.
I
He's
like
gonna win it.
call an audible right now. He should win now. Like, because I'm like, is there a level of more over than this? And I'm like, no. It's like this is all they really need. Just build a new star. Let's go. But I mean, I understand what they were trying to do, though. I fully understand it, and I agree with it. I would have done the same thing. You said it yourself too. You would have done the same. Both of us would have done the same thing. So it's hard
Absolutely.
for us to judge. However, after
I
hearing
just
that,
didn't
I
like.
would have been
I
like,
didn't like the Brock Lesnar thing though. That's the thing that's pissing me off right now. It doesn't make sense to me.
Jermaine in the chat says, how many times has Roman Reigns been booed because people said that they didn't want to see him? He's a heel everybody loves to cheer for. Yeah, I agree with that.
He's been put a
He's
couple
a-
times.
yeah.
A
We
lot of
got
times.
ya Charles saying hashtag fire Vince is awesome. It's insane that Vince is still there after the allegations. Like Trevor, Vince McMahon is still in charge of WWE creative and he's pushing Triple H out. Like
It's,
what?
why? Why? It doesn't make
We thought
sense.
he was gone and he's still here.
He's like that damn cat. Cat came back right next day.
And the duck walked over to the lemonade stand and he says to the man, run the stand, hey, bump, bump, bump. Got any grapes? We got Job in the chat saying, Omer and Trevor. I love how he spelled it like you spell your Twitter handle.
Yeah, he did.
Trevor, Omer and Trevor. I know you guys both like AEW and WWE. Don't you think that the competition is good? Which do you prefer?
Good question. So here's the thing. I honestly love the fact that there are two shows that you can watch. I mean, actually, is NXT is on right now. You got Elevation or Dark Elevation. So like even though it was an online show, you can still watch it. So there's a little competition there, I guess, right? I always think stuff like that for wrestling is good for business. It was always good. The Monday Night Wars were very good for business and things like that. But I I like both of them, but like I find myself watching AEW easier than I can Raw because Raw has been up and down lately. Like the couple Raws before last night, I watched a little bit here and there, but like I'm always busy on Monday, so I normally just go back, record it, and watch it. Um, but I watch a lot of AEW, and I have missed some AEWs, but because AEW still feels like an indie promotion with a like a pro promotion feel. You know what I mean? It still feels like an indie promotion to me. I mean, it's a pro promotion, but it's still an indie. It feels like an indie promotion to me. It feels like the NXT was when I first started watching. Um, but I still love AEW and I still watch it. I don't know why you're raising your eyebrow.
I'm trying to show you how blown I am by that take. Look how high this
I've
eyebrow
said
is.
that before. That's not the
This
first time I
eyebrow
said that.
this eyebrow is higher than Snoop Dogg. Look at
Impossible.
it. It's higher.
Impossible.
It's
I think
higher
you're
than
breaking
Matt
stuff.
Riddle on 420.
Impossible.
It's higher than a hot box between Willie Nelson, Matt Riddle, and Snoop Dogg.
That's complete BS.
Okay, that's impossible. That's absolutely impossible. It's like you see that thing where it's like Willie Nel or Snoop Dogg said it's like the only person to ever outsmoke me was Willie Nelson. That dude is like apparently like Snoop Dogg was just like I can't roll with him. Like he's too much. Like and I'm like you look at Willie Nelson, you're just like he's just like Willie Nelson. He's just like you would not think of it, but then you're like oh he's like that. Um.
What else is
Anyway,
on the docket, man?
what else is on the docket? I mean, I can answer that question too. I mean,
No, please. Yeah,
I
absolutely. Yeah.
I prefer AEW honestly. And look, it is. Here's the thing: if people get it twisted because they're like, "Oh, you both get paid by AEW to say these things, and you think that the WWE is obviously the more superior product, right?" Homeboy, if I was getting paid, I would be a much bigger shill than I am now because
Oh, yeah.
he would. You're talking about he would be the biggest show in the world. He would be like, "Oh, Tony Khan, I love you." I would be like, "Hey, Tony," like, bro, it's that's a laughable thing. Like, I like AEW because it reminds me of what I love in about professional wrestling,
Exactly.
and that is
Doesn't
hard
hurt
hitting
that one of your
matches,
favorite wrestlers is there too.
hard hitting matches, good stories, and just a fun TV show that doesn't overstay its welcome. That's my main
Yep.
problem with Raw. The 3 hours every week is just too much. It is just too much. I can't do it. Like Dynamite and Rampage is again, no one watches Rampage live, but Dynamite and Rampage are fun and easy watches when you sit down and watch because they don't overstay their welcome, and they never will because they're relatively like short and they're like Dynamite's exactly what you need in a wrestling show, which is it's enough time for you to tell stories, have a bunch of good matches, have a good wrestling TV show, and then leave people wanting more.
Right. Absolutely.
Whereas Raw is just like, it's just too much. It's too much. It's just content for the sake of content, right?
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, I mean, like, yeah, do I prefer AEW as a show? Or sorry, AEW Dynamite as a show? Sure. As a company, I mean, I don't really like care one way or another because they're both companies that look out for money. Like my whole thing has always been, guys, like don't support like individual companies, support the wrestlers that you like. It also just so happens that most of my favorite wrestlers are in AEW and not WWE. That doesn't mean I
Mm.
don't have favorite wrestlers. Like, Sami Zayn's like one of my top 3 favorite wrestlers and he's in
All right, coach.
WWE and he main evented WrestleMania. Big shout out to my Muslim brother Sami Zayn.
Mhm.
Um yeah, can we talk about that for a second though? It
Yes,
didn't
please.
like it didn't hit me. It actually didn't hit me that Sami
Yeah,
Zayn was about to main event the WrestleMania until his music hit, and then I was like, "Yo, Sami Zayn's the main" like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know it, but, like,
right.
it doesn't like, the feeling doesn't hit you. And when it hit me, I was like, "This is so cool." And did you see the PWG trunks that they had?
Yeah, I did.
They had the PWG logo, on them. Man, here's what I'll say about that match: storytelling, A plus;
Yep.
wrestling, A plus; feeling, A plus; vibe, A plus; 15 stars out of 10, 80 in the Tokyo Dome. I loved it. It's one of my favorite matches ever.
It was a damn good match. I like the little nod to the Briscoes afterwards and in the press conference where they
Absolutely.
were they were talking about they pretty much said if it wasn't for the Briscoes, we wouldn't be here, tag team, you know. But I thought it was a nice little nod to them as well. It was overall, it was a great story. It's a great story to be told. Great storytelling. A lot of us wish that Sammy would have been a champion, but yeah, it's okay. It's okay. He'll get there.
I was satisfied with this.
Right.
It
Oh,
wasn't the
yeah.
best outcome, but I was definitely satisfied with this ending. And it was cool because Sammy got here's the thing too, the other cool thing is Sammy did get a moment. Because remember
It did.
the next night he came out and he delivered what should have been the final dagger to Roman Reigns with that Helluva Kick, to help
Mhm.
Cody Rhodes, but obviously the referee wasn't there. Can I get your thoughts on the because I know we're over an hour, so we need to, like we don't need to start wrapping up, but, like, we need to cover this stuff.
Yeah.
The ending sequence of the main event of night 2, Cody versus Roman.
I'm gonna be
I wanna get your thoughts on it first, and then I'm gonna tell you what I think, and I think you're gonna vibe with it.
I, it was okay, but I kind of figured that's what it was gonna be. You know, right? You know what I mean? Like, has Roman actually won a match clean? He's won like
He
one or two,
beat
right?
he beat Bryan clean on SmackDown in
Okay.
Bryan's, like, go away match back in
Did he beat
2021, 2
did he
years ago.
beat did he beat Balor clean? I don't think he beat Balor clean.
The Usos were
Yeah,
mucking
it
around
was
in that
something like that.
match.
But anyway, like that's his MO and whatever. Cool. It was it just looked it didn't it didn't look polished. It looked messy to me. It was kind of jumbled, but I figured that was the way he was gonna win. He was gonna win. Figured he was gonna win by outside interference.
When so Solo Sikoa gets kicked out of
Right.
ringside, and then, "Oh my god! There's a masked figure! Oh, Samoan Spike, what? Who's this mask guy? It's Solo!"
Who didn't know that was Solo?
Trevor Trevor Tainment, my good sir, that was the most WCW in
It was.
1998 thing ever.
It was. It really
Like,
was.
he ego trip world champion NWO Hogan. The NWO coming out in all of his main events being like, brother, Horace, go get him, brother. It's just stupid. Like, oh my God, he was kicked out, but he's coming back. It's like, you remember when Sting in TNA for his disguise bought like one of the Sting masks from
Yeah.
from not concessions,
The
but like
merchandise. Yeah.
from the merch
Merchandise.
stand,
Mhm.
like from the merch stand. He was wearing a Sting mask, but he still had a Sting paint on, so it was just like it's like that's stupid.
It was so dumb. It was really dumb.
But here's the thing, that wasn't in the main event of WrestleMania for the World Championship.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
I thought it big bang a WCW 1998 off of that ending. Like, it was and maybe that's the way you're supposed to feel, but and I know Cody's supposed to get screwed like that, but you coulda had it happen in a whole bunch of ways that would have been better.
That
Um,
was
anyway, but it's what happened. We got you Charles in the chat saying people cheer for Cody on Raw just because they bought tickets before WrestleMania and they wanted to make profits on it. Like it's like people who will be on Backlash after that WWE screw. well, here's the thing. I mean, I don't necessarily agree with that. I think like people love Cody. Like people,
Yeah,
everyone loves Cody. I love Cody.
yeah,
So I don't think it's that. Also, as far as Backlash goes, they're gonna sell out like easily. They're gonna sell that out because they're going to Puerto Rico for a big show. Puerto Rico has not had a pay-per-view wrestling. They've not had a televised wrestling show, Trevor,
right.
since January 2005.
That's true.
18
Yeah,
years. New Year's Revolution 2005 when Edge cashed in his money. No, no, sorry. No, that wasn't Edge cashing his money in the bank. That was the Evolution versus Faces Elimination Chamber match at New Year's Revolution 2005.
their faces.
Um Trevor's like, "Oh yes, yes, that one. Yes, I see." Oh my god, yeah. Oh, by the way, you missed my mustache. I had a mustache for like a solid 3 days. People in the
I
channel
saw it.
were
I saw some of the
pe
videos you put out
people were
with
just
the
like,
most.
what do you do?" I did a 4.5 hour stream with that mustache. It was I felt like such an idiot. I had to shave it off. Uh, and afterwards, you know what I said, Trevor? Someone asked me, it's like, there's something different about you. And I went up to them right in their face and I yelled, I shaved my mustache, you idiot.
My mustache.
My
they
mustache.
they must ask you a question. But yeah. Let's see. We got
Overall,
more
we'll
overall.
get to the chats. I want to get your overall thoughts on Mania. Like out of 10, what do you view it? Where does it rank for you?
Honestly, I gotta give it a solid 6.5.
Damn, ain't that a shame? Which night do you think was better?
One.
Yeah, it was way better.
One was better. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like two had that banger of a match with Bianca Belair and Asuka.
Also,
It,
I'm sorry, we completely glossed over the Intercontinental title match, bro.
dude, oh my god, such a good match, man. Yo, Gunther is making it known. I was Walter. You know who I was. You know who I am.
You know what it
Like he
is,
is making
bro.
himself known, bro. Like that was such a good match. That was a good match. The Hell in a Cell was pretty good, actually. It could have been better. Could have been better, but it wasn't bad.
I thought the Hell in the Cell was a good match. It was a solid match.
Yeah,
Why the hell did he come out as the demon? That made zero sense. The demon, the demon, his entire gimmick is he's just jobs.
yeah.
And you know what's sad as hell? Finn Balor. You know what Finn Balor's gimmick is? He just
He never wins
jobs.
belts.
He's a jobber. He's a jobber. They don't even acknowledge him anymore as a former world champion, which is
No,
crazy.
no. He was actually the first Universal Champion, but we're not going to get into that.
That is like that's got to be like one of the biggest what ifs in WWE history. Like, what if Balor doesn't get injured? Like he was, and that was the thing. Vince was like ready for him. He's like Vince,
Got-
like they rolled out the red carpet for him. They wanted him to feel like a star, and he did feel like a star.
He
But
was completely over, dude. He was completely over. Like, and then he tore his. Uh,
we need look, Finn. Listen, look, there's this little rinky-dink company. It's run out of Jacksonville, Florida. They you could go to. They don't
you
have much to
definitely need.
offer, but they do have Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, who I think you could have a lot of fun with.
And this guy that you used to wrestle with, I think his name is Brian Danielson. I think that's his name.
Oh, we haven't gotten a chance to talk about that either. Fine, we're just gonna talk about it. The Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club.
Yo,
Sirs. Sirs.
um, I am liking this.
Doesn't it remind you of like peak AEW, like early 2020, like just pre-pandemic AEW? Like you
Right.
remember all that fervor around like Revolution 2020? Like that's
It,
like it's reminding me of that. Like Dynamite's reminding me a lot of that, and man, I love it.
you remember like when they were talking about like at one point the rumors were around that Tully and Arn were trying to put together a new Four Horsemen or whatever, and everyone had was skeptical. Everyone was like giving their thoughts who could possibly be in it.
Hmm.
Blackpool kind of reminds me of that. Kind of reminds me of a very early um Four Horsemen is like devious and like diabolical as they are, like just ferocity. I mean, they don't have the versions of the characters that they had, like no one's Flair, you know what I mean? But like it does remind me of early Four Horsemen because they used to go around and just murk everybody.
Hmm.
They were really just hired hitman, kind of like Blackjack Mulligan and what's his name? Like they would just go around and just murk everyone. And I love the fact that your boy came back. I love it. I'm glad he's a member of the Blackpool Combat Club again. I just hope he doesn't like screw him in some way. Like he's already a heel, so
Yeah, I think where this is headed, and look, this is me who's already a mark and bought a ticket for this event. Anarchy in the Arena, the Elite versus the Blackpool Combat Club. And I'm talking
that would be
Hangman
great.
Page, you had the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega versus Brian Wheeler Yuta, John Moxley, and
I was laughing at your figures. You're like, wait, did I get the
yeah,
four yet?
I was like the Young Bucks, Kenny Omega. Oh wait, there's another buck in there. Uh, uh
That would be great though. That would be so much fun to watch. So much fun to
it,
watch.
I mean, look, this feud has been so much fun to watch. Oh, speaking of Wheeler Yuta, because we're just all over the place on this one. Yo, I didn't even know. Like Wednesday, okay, so Wednesday I'm watching Dynamite, right? I'm watching the main event. And I'm just like chilling. And then like Excalibur does this thing where he's running on the cards for all the events, and then he's like talking about Super Card of Honor and Super Card of Honor. Like it was just like a throwaway line in the middle of the match. There wasn't even a graphic. It was like, yes, Super Card of Honor, great event we have for Ring of Honor coming up this Saturday night, blah, 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 or this Friday night. Blah, blah, blah. It's like we will see, like Eddie Kingston face off against Claudio Castagnoli for the ROH World Championship, and then he just threw in like, and we will see the ROH debut of Katsuyori Shibata, and I go,
Yep.
I was like, they did not do a good time advertising that because I
We
was
did
like,
not,
wait
because
a minute, time
nobody
out.
knew Shibata was fighting.
I was, bro. I googled it that second. I was like, Shibata's wrestling on Supercard of Honor. Say less. Say less. On top of that, he had a nice match with Wheeler Yuta, and they
He did.
put him over.
He did. He definitely did.
Tatsuya, yo, we don't talk about this enough. We don't talk about this enough. The comeback of Shibata is got to be
Oh
like
yeah,
one of the
man.
coolest stories in wrestling. Like this
It
dude's
it
career was
definitely is.
done. He didn't wrestle for like almost 5 years, and he just
Yep.
comes back, and he's like still the coolest guy on the roster or out there. He's still one of the best wrestlers. He's still got one of the most unique styles, and the charisma just oozes out of him. This dude is so good. In the words of the legendary Mike Tyson, wow, Shibata, he's a star.
He's a star.
He's a star, great fighter. He's a great fighter. I love you, Mike. Please don't hurt me when I've been. Yo, I might. Okay, I'm gonna have to return my tickets. I can't go to Vegas no more. Mike's gonna find me. Mike's gonna find me, son.
He might
He's
just
like,
get he might get
that's the
how much
guy.
cash
I'm
in his
gonna
yeah.
laugh at him.
What?
I don't know. Look, I've been fasting all day, bro. My brain is working at like 2% power. I
I
don't know
bet
what
it
I'm
is.
doing. I
I
humbly
bet
apologize. Here you go. Go. This is your show now. Go.
Maybe we should get to some of these chats, my man.
Ryan Woodridge, he has the most important chat. Are the Brewers winning? No, Ryan. The Brewers aren't winning. The Milwaukee Bucks might win the NBA title. That they might win. But
Yeah, they
good
might.
good to see you, Ryan. Always love to see you in the chat. We got Jermaine in the chat saying, myself, I hate WWE or anything Vince McMahon has in his hand. Hey, bro, you won't get an argument out of me. Job
Yeah,
also
no, no.
Job also lets him know. And Omar is right. AEW is a throwback to the old days of professional wrestling. You're damn right. Damn
Damn
right,
right.
I'm right. Damn right, I'm right.
Ye
Ryan says
Charles
hi. Oh, Ryan says
Goldberg,
hi.
AEW.
Go bring AEW. I'm not. See, I wasn't even gonna read that one. It was like ridiculous, as if
I
someone would
love
make a
Ye
video
Charles.
about that.
I love these group of guys, people we have to come on and watch our show.
We
Uh,
got Ryan in the chat saying hi, Omer. What is Aaron Rodgers' update? Will the trade to the Jets happen, or NFC North stick with the Packers? Nah, he's gonna be traded eventually. Like that's just a
yeah.
matter of if
I'm
or
not sure
when, not
exactly
if.
where he's going, but he's going to be traded.
No, he's going to the Jets. Like
It's not,
they're gonna it's just a matter of like what to pick. Like they're gonna figure it out. Like that's gonna happen. He's not coming back to the Packers. Ryan asks,
no,
"Bro, do you think WWE combining with UFC is a good thing?" We answered this at length earlier on, Ryan, but I will say this. In general, yes, it is a very good
I think
thing
so.
for the company for both companies.
I agree completely.
Um, we got Jermaine in the chat saying, so is it Jermaine or it's Jarmaine? Sorry about that. Jarmaine in the chat saying, I think Kenny versus Danielson in Vegas. Hey, bro, I ain't gonna hate on that.
Hey,
I ain't
who would
gonna hate
hate?
on that.
No one would hate that.
I might cry. You know me, I might cry.
That'd be a great
I am
match.
one of those marks. Hey, look, professional wrestling. And then
That'd be a
MJF's
good
gonna
match.
MJF's gonna roast me on Twitter. It's okay. Um, you got Charles in
Yeah.
the chat says, "Man, imagine MJF squashes Goldberg. That would be funny. That would be
That would
hilarious.
that would make me happy.
I would love to see MJF cut a promo on Goldberg.
That'd be great.
It would be hilarious." Job says, "No, that would be great. Oh man, you guys are a great time." Did we leave anything out, Trevor? Was there anything about WrestleMania that you wanted to talk about?
I think we're done with WrestleMania.
I think we
I
are
think we're done.
done.
Yeah.
All right, Trevor. Moment of truth here. I need a prediction from you.
See, senor.
How s- how soon do you think before the WWE product just takes a downhill dive as far as an on television product? Not in quality, not obviously
We're
in
not talking about pay per views. We're talking about
I'm talking about like this is unwatchable. How soon do you think till we get to that point?
if Monday was any indication, maybe sooner than we think. Um,
Damn
honestly,
shame.
probably if Vince is back in creative control for good, probably within the next 6 months.
It's a damn shame too because Triple H was coming off of some of the best stuff that WWE had
Was
this weekend, like ever. Like
some of the best stuff they've had in years. Like
it's
he
a
was doing
damn
a great
shame.
job.
His vision was so good.
It
And
was.
Vince just comes
Really
in and
was.
he's like, "Oh, here he's gonna beat Rey Mysterio for no reason. And the wildest part is, Trevor, I just remember this. Rey's on SmackDown. What the hell was he doing on Raw?
Right. That made no sense.
Mm.
No sense. None of it made any sense at all.
Ryan Woodard says, Trevor, let's hear your Hulk Hogan. Let's hear your Hulk Hogan impression, Trevor. Let-
What what have we done? Haven't done the Hulk Hogan in a while, right?
You
I mean,
haven't done here. How about this?
we never really
I
do
lean.
Hogan.
I feel like I'm more of the impression guy, and you're just kind
Yeah,
of like
I just make
because
sound.
you're like you're too good for that.
No, I'm not too good for that.
No, no,
I
no.
just
You're way too good for that because I look because I'm a clown. I'm an ass clown. I fully have accepted that role.
I'm a clown as well. I'm just not. I just don't do the
You're a
impressions.
civilized clown. You're a clown
No, I'm not
who
civilized
drinks
at
a
all. You have to see
Sprite
me.
with a pinky out.
you have to see me at. You have to see me on Friday nights when I'm at the bar. I'm terrible.
My God.
I'm the guy joking and joking on everybody.
So I will. How about this? You'll do a Hulk Hogan. I'll lean. I'll like. I'll get you in with a Randy Savage. All right. I'll like that'll be your tie-in. I'll be like, oh yeah, Mean Gene. Oh yeah, we are here at the precipice of the Mega Powers uniting. Macho Mania and Hulk Mania gonna be one tonight. Ain't that right, Hogan?
You got that, brother. And when when Hulkamania when
Brother, brother,
Hulkamania
brother.
comes out, brother, brother, and that my brother over there, and that my other brother, and all the other brothers of the Hulkamaniacs. What you gonna do, brother? Do you remember the Shawn Michaels spoof when he goes,
Brother,
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 brother, and my
brother,
brother,
Larry,
and your
the
brother,
Larry
and
King.
brother, and let me tell you something, brother.
No spoof will ever outdo, like, I think it was the Go Home Show to Halloween Havoc 1998. The funniest thing ever. Horace Hogan comes out in front of the NWO, and Hulk just goes, he cuts this promo, right? Because Horace Hogan is his nephew, his deceased brother's son. And he goes, Horace, brother. It's Horace, brother. I just want you to know you're like my brother because your dead father, my dead brother, told me to take care of you, brother. And I swear to God, that was it. Horace, your dead father, my dead brother. I'm like, stop,
Brother,
stop.
and you're like, what?
It was just like brother.
Oh
It's like
gosh,
Hulk Hogan's like the Hulk Hogan is like a Florida version of Jerry. Except instead of saying bro, he's just brother,
this
brother,
is
brother.
brother. Let me tell you something, brother.
Dude,
No, I still think the funniest thing to me about him is the fact he had a restaurant called Pasta Mania. That is the funniest thing to me.
it's still not as funny as Eminem having an Italian restaurant called Mom Spaghetti.
True, true.
And 20 years later, that came full circle. I
I
love
mean, it
that.
makes me just as sad as David Dobrik's pizza place, but
Did you see Hangman Page? Where he was talking about the Blackpool Combat Club. It's like, hey, look, I just want you to know the fellas in the BBC. I was like, oh, Hangman, what are you doing? Oh man, we got all right. Let's read out the last few of these chats, and then we should probably wrap up.
you got a
Um,
lot. Yeah,
all right. So you Charles or Mr. Murder Hawk. We got Jermaine in the chat saying, I'm telling you, Athena's press conference is beautiful and the Blackpool Combat Club, elite blood and guts. Oh my, that would be wonderful.
great. And I,
Oh,
I did see Athena's press conference, and you're not wrong, Jermaine. It was a lot of fun to watch.
hey bro, I'm just saying if Blood and Guts ends up being in DC, we are
Yes,
going. We are
yes,
going.
without a doubt. Yes.
Um Job in the chat says, Trevor, what's up with the Murder Hawk? I assume he means Lance Archer and not an actual Murder Hawk.
Yeah. I think he's actually hurt. If I'm not mistaken, but he might. If he actually, he's been doing a lot of indie show stuff here recently. He's been doing a lot of indie shows. He's been performing in Texas and things like that. He's still signed with AEW, but his contract is not as prominent as it was. But you'll see him, or you'll see him again. He's too talented not to see him again.
We got your Charles in the chat asking you a question, brother. Says
What's
Trevor
up?
brother. Trevor brother. You think AEW brother will have a big flagship event like WrestleMania to New Japan's to New Japan or WrestleMania's WWE or Wrestle Kingdom New Japan or WrestleMania WWE one day?
I think right now their biggest pay per view is probably Double or Nothing, or Forbidden Door will probably be the two biggest ones. Um, Blood and Guts is always a fun one, but I feel like Blood and Guts is
That's not a
more of
pay-per-view though.
yeah, it's not a pay per view. It's a home show. But no, like I honestly think it will probably be Double or Nothing. I think Double or Nothing will probably be their flagship big type show. But I don't think they're ever gonna get one quite as big as WrestleMania.
So I think Double or Nothing is what they want it to be, but it's actually like I mean, here's the thing, it depends on what you mean. If it's like the culmination of storylines, I think it's All Out.
All out, yeah,
Like if you're
right,
talking about
right.
that, like the biggest paper because I mean, look, to this day, the biggest pay-per-view number they've done ever is All Out 2021. That's the biggest pay-per-view number they've ever done. Um, all that being said, um, the like the pay-per-view that sells out the easiest has always been Forbidden Door. Like they literally sold out the United Center easily, like, when Forbidden Door 1 came around. Forbidden Door 2 in Toronto, like, they've sold, like, 14,000 seats like it's nothing. So, I mean, like, I think that's, like, their biggest thing. Um, I would say I would lean towards All Out, but I understand Double or Nothing. I also think they're still a relatively young company, and we haven't gotten to the point where we can clearly identify one big event. One thing I do know is it damn sure ain't Full Gear.
Nah, it's
As
not
great
full.
as those Full Gear pay-per-views have been, and they've had some
Yeah,
of the best
it's
moments in the
not.
company's history, it damn sure ain't no Full Gear, though.
No,
But I would think I would agree I would tend to agree with you. It's either Double or Nothing or, All Out.
yeah,
All Out this year
definitely.
might be fun fact, All Out this year might actually be in Chicago
Really,
because
you going
they're
back?
they're planning on running the United Center instead of the Hoffman Estates Now Arena, which is like 30 minutes away. Yo, when I tell you, that was the most annoying thing ever. I had to go it was like a 2-hour trip for me because I took the
Oh, wow.
train out. So I had to take the
Oh, okay.
train out of Chicago on top to Rosemont, and then I had to Uber to my hotel, and from my hotel, I had to Uber to the arena. Bro, it was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. Have it if you're gonna have it in a city, have it in a city. Don't advertise Chicago. And
Right.
son, it's like this. We're here in the heart of the nation's capital, Washington D.C. Or sorry, we're gonna be in Washington D.C. You look up the arena. These mother lovers are in freaking Woodbury, like no
Virginia.
Woodridge, whatever the hell that. You know what I'm. You know what. You
I
know
know.
what I'm saying.
I pick up what you put down.
You picking up what I'm putting down. Like, oh my god, live in the nation's capital in Fairfax, Virginia. We are here in Frederick, Maryland. Just, just steps away from the National Mall.
Did I tell you that when we were in New Orleans, this made me remember we were in New Orleans and we were at this bar and this group of people, there were like 4 or 5 people, and they heard us say we were from DC. He's like, oh yeah, we're from DC too. I was like, oh yeah, whereabouts? Oh, you know Virginia? That's not DC.
It's not DC at all.
I was
Um,
like, I'm actually in DC, sir.
Ryan says, "Good night, brother." Oh, brother.
Brother, brother.
Uh, we got Jermaine saying, "Who's beating MJF, Hook, and Jade?" That's all.
It's
We
a
don't have
very
enough
loaded
time to
question,
answer
sir.
that. I will give you MJF. I think it should be Ricky Starks
That's what I think. What I think, but I probably won't be.
or Hangman Page. One of those two. Definitely one of those two.
Or somebody that's never won it before.
My man's like, yeah, I don't want it to be old jobber Hangman Page. What's your problem with Hangman?
I
You got a
like
problem with
Hangman.
Hangman? No, no,
I
you
do
got a
like Hangman,
problem with him. There's beef here. There's
but
beef between you and Pager.
we got Chili because he's old. But no, like he, I don't have a problem with Hangman. I just, eh, eh.
This man took a fork in the eye for you. What more do you want?
He took a fork in the eye for the people that were watching. I did not watch at the time. I
Sir.
watched this.
We got Jermaine with some wild says like, "What you mean? It's winter is coming or beach break, sir." Miss me with that. Grand Slam is more of a is more of an event like that than those two.
It is.
We
Definitely
got
is.
Job in the chat saying, "Breaking news: Vince dyes his ugly mustache." Hey, I think hey, you
Hey,
might be sleeping with the fishes.
sleeping with the fishes, the big fat muscle fish.
Gabagool, gabagool.
Gabagool. You know what I got?
We got CC in the chat saying, "We all know Vince mustache is a Sharpie." Yo, my man looks like you know who he reminds me of? He reminds me of what is his name? Freaking Gomez Adams. Gomez Adams from
Yeah,
the
that
Adams
does.
family.
You ever watch the Jimmy Kimmel show? He looks like that guy, the Spanish guy that he has on there.
Oh, Guillermo?
Yeah.
Guillermo. Oh, God bless him.
uh,
Job says, breaking news, Shane McMahon breaks his finger picking his Jesus. All right, sir. On that note,
I'm sorry.
We got CC saying we all know. We already said that. Jermaine with our last chat of the night says, "I think it's full circle. Wardlow or Danielson. He pulls a CM Punk and leaves with the title. He I'm of the
Mm,
opinion he's already re-signed with AEW, so I don't think that's going to be an issue. I don't think it's going to be Danielson.
no,
Wardlow, you would have to heat him up. You'd have to heat him way up, bro. You'd have to put the
like
microwave
really.
settings on high. Put that man on. You know how like you got like defrost, the defrost button. You have to hit that defrost button a few times because Wardlow is the kind of frozen right now. That like
Yeah,
you hit it once and it's like, oh damn, the middle is still like really frozen. Okay, we gotta put that back. It's like that's a two
like a
defrost.
hot
That's a
pocket
two.
at this point.
Hell yeah, when he's a cold pocket.
The cold pocket.
He's a cold, but it's like I got up to get a cold pop. Then I said, "Oh Lord, sweet Jesus, there's fire." Ain't nobody got time for that. Uh, anyway,
Uh-uh.
Trevor. What have you been watching? What are you liking? I don't know. What are you doing? What's going on? How's your
What are you
life?
doing? How you doing? Yeah, I've been. I was watching. Like I said earlier, I watched the Hall of Fame for with the Bushwhackers. I've been watching some old Grado matches. He is great. I love Grado. Grado's so good. Um, I was watching him. I've been watching some old in your house stuff, old pay per views, and watching Matt Cardona get mad because his wife is in WWE and he's not. Dude, did you see him marking out for her on Twitter?
I saw that. I saw that. He's a jobber, but he's funny.
It's hilarious. Yeah, but same old stuff, same old stuff. Other than things that involve wrestling, I saw John Wick 4. I was just watching Reacher on Amazon Prime too. So good stuff. Keeping busy.
Yeah. You know what? What I've been watching a lot of today.
What? Oh yeah,
We've been watching the news a lot today. Been
political
watching the
stuff.
news.
Yeah,
Ah, justice.
justice is served. Jackass. Anyway, um,
Roll Tide.
sound like Pete from Steel Plate. Roll Tide. He always screams that.
That is a shout. That is a callback, a throwback. My good sir. Trevor, as always, this is a great time. I enjoy my time with you every other slash Tuesday. Every Tuesday. It's supposed to be every Tuesday, but usually every other Tuesday. I enjoy my time with you so much, my good sir. I just want you to know that. I appreciate you.
Yeah, I do too, man. I
Um,
appreciate you being on here. I appreciate these guys, these silly individuals in our in our chat.
don't don't give them any don't give them any idea that I care about them. Like,
Don't talk to the help.
losers. Losers. Look at them. Losers. Every single one of them. And you know what? You're a loser too. I don't even want to. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore.
I
If
don't
it
even
was
know what I'm
any,
looking for
if there was any question, I am definitely the heel of this duo. Um,
right
it's
now.
just well, Trevor's like the heel that refuses. He's Cody, the heel that refuses to turn. I will never turn on you, fans, because I
Yeah.
love you. Adrenaline and resolve. I'm a good guy, Cody Rhodes. Like Jesus Christ.
Love
God
you
bless
too,
him.
Job.
Love you, Job. Love you, Charles. Love you, Ryan. Love you, CC. Um, who else was in this chat? We're just gonna go through everyone in the chat. We're going love you, Clone Force. Wait, Clone
All you
Force is
guys. How
badass.
about we love us.
So that's a bad mamma jamma right there. Everybody who showed up, everyone who showed out, absolute legends, all of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, be sure to hit that like button. Follow my dude. Follow this dude for all of his shitty wrestling takes. Follow him.
Horrible ones, terrible ones.
Yeah, he'd be like, well, you know, as bad as WrestleMania 2 was, it actually is a top 5 WrestleMania. Follow my man on Twitter at
Who am I, Chris Collinsworth now?
TREGER. Hey, man, in all my years in the National Football League, I've never seen a more stupid player than I just saw. A stupid play by a stupid player. I'm Chris Collinsworth. Hey, all right, partner. Hey. All right, partner. Why don't you just lean in? Just slide on in. Oh, man.
Man,
If I wasn't on carpet, that would be much easier to do. That was like that
yeah,
was tough on my
yeah.
legs.
My
My
wheels
my my
don't mess up my carpet either.
I got those Brock Lesnar, like, little chicken legs, you know? Please don't
I
hurt me,
know.
Brock. Please don't hurt me, Brock. Jeez, I'm going after him, bro. I am going after him. Anyway,
But
um,
as always, guys, hug those who close, love those who are far away. Have a great week. Enjoy yourself and be safe.
and enjoy professional wrestling. Until
Graps.
next time, keep it real. Oh, that's my job. Whoops.
Yeah, yeah.
You can tell, dude. We are in the midst of
Rare
Ramadan.
form.
I have no energy, no brain power by the end of the day. Don't eat, don't drink water. I am just
Dead.
nothing. It's honestly impressive that I've been able to speak for the past whatever. But appreciate y'all. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and keep it real.